Hello everyone, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm super excited to have you here. We are just going to dive straight into your reading today. Let's see, what do we have here for Pisces, please Spirit? What can you tell us for Pisces? What does Pisces need to know right now? All right, Pisces, just keep in mind this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. All right, here we go for Pisces. Wow, a resounding wow. Okay, Pisces. Woohoo. Okay. Okay. I feel it. I'm into it. I am into it. Okay. This luck card came out super emphatically first, so I just want to address this energy. It says, you are right to be strong and optimistic about the opportunities ahead. And man, this card is just charged. It is like fully loaded. It is just, wow. And, you know, you are getting a lot of green energy here in your cards, which is the heart chakra, and the shamrock leaves are shaped like a heart, and it's giving me like, Pisces, you've got something really good coming in. You've got something, a lot to look forward to here. And you know, if you're feeling that intuitive sense of anticipation that like something good is just around the corner, I think you have every right to feel that way, and I'd lean into it. You know, luck can appear out of nowhere, you know, and kind of the best policy for life is just to expect luck everywhere and to look for it everywhere. You know, that's how you find the four-leaf clover, right? Is you look for it everywhere, in everything, right? And so I actually have a friend who has an incredible knack at finding four-leaf clovers. It's crazy. And he is a lucky person. I mean, you know, I feel... Anyway, you have this gorgeous energy to start off with, and it feels like, first and foremost, let's get this out of the way. If you're seeing signs and synchronicities, if you're feeling that intuitive anticipation, if you are feeling alive and electric and kind of in the flow, yeah, you know, this is confirmation for that. Something good is about to happen here, Pisces, or it doesn't even feel like something good. It feels like multiple things, but especially something that you've really, really, really been manifesting or wanting. Wow, you have the key here, and it says, new beginnings, directions, and adventures await for those ready to let go of the past. You know, this is that energy of opening to all of the infinite possibilities. You are a limitless being with infinite possibilities. You know, what shows up in your life is what you align with, which possibility you align with, what you believe about yourself. And it does say, you know, for those ready to let go of the past. You know, there are those people who sort of feel like circumstances set in stone. You know, I was born into this. It will be like this forever. I will always have this, you know, like a weight around my neck. And there are always examples of people who have risen or have thrived after having the same experience. But what's the difference between that person and that person? Well, one believes that circumstances are changeable and that they have the power to, you know, live whatever life that they want to live. And the other, you know, has this feeling that they were born into something and that's where they're going to stay, and they have no ability to change that. And we all always have the ability to change that. We are much stronger, much more creative and capable than sometimes we give ourselves credit. It's what we give our power to. Do we give our power to ourselves, or do we give our power to the world at hand? And so, you know, we are destined to repeat our past over and over and over again until we release it, until we let go of it. That's what we learn from the Wheel of Fortune. It just keeps going around and around. And how do we get off that? Well, we make a different choice. That's how we get off that. So if we have given too much power to the world or to a person or to something external to us, then we call our power home and we put it rightly back. You know, have you guys seen that meme where it's like, you know, put straighten your crown and remember who the fuck you are? You know, it's kind of that energy. And so Pisces, that's the key right now, is to take your energy back and to, you know, be your fully present, fully charged, fully powerful self here in this moment. Now with this patience and this beware, I'm getting just like a really strong message here that like sometimes when things don't show up right away, we have we have this tendency to take a few steps backwards, to say, oh, I knew it wasn't going to happen. You know, I was so foolish, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, this is really telling me that what is happening, what is coming together here does require patience. And it does require us to be a steady buoying force, for us to persevere and for us to not give up on what we're moving toward. You know, this chameleon here with the beware energy, it's like sometimes something is so blended into our environment that it's like we don't see it, you know, and then it moves or it shifts or it changes color or it makes itself appear to us and we go, oh my gosh, and it was there the whole time. So there's kind of this energy, Pisces, of, you know, you may not be seeing the full picture and you may be getting bogged down in the details. I feel like this patience energy is sort of giving me this energy of zooming out. The background of this card, have you ever, I don't know, when I light my Christmas tree and I'm trying to determine if I've gotten my lights equally dispersed across my tree and that it looks even and it looks right, I do this thing where I blur out my vision because it becomes more obvious to me when I'm not looking at the detail, when I'm just sort of, okay, is the whole tree equally lit? It makes it really easy for me to see the gaps and the holes and the places where I need to like make some adjustments. And that's what this is giving me. It's kind of like blur out, zoom out. Don't look at the details. Don't look for the chameleon in the bush. Trust that the chameleon is there, you're feeling it, and you're doing everything that you can to invite it in. The other reason we have to let go of our past, right, is we have to make space for the new to come in, right? But this is like, what can we do in the meantime? Like, let's not waste this time. You know, let's look for the holes and the gaps and the things that we can lean into and that we can work on and that we can, you know, kind of challenge ourselves with. And what it's really giving me is our mind, mastering our thoughts, not letting our thoughts take control of us in this time where where something isn't being fully revealed yet. It's like having trust, having faith, not taking 5 steps backwards, but instead staying the course. Okay, it's giving me a very specific thing right here. I'm gonna say it because I feel like I only get things that are important to someone to hear. But that is why both of these things are here. Because if you're holding on to a past person and you're manifesting a past person and you're saying, I want this person, I want this person, I want this person, and that is what you're holding on to hope for, and that is what you're trying to remain positive for, and you're not trying to you know, take 2 steps back by doubting that it's going to come together or that this person's going to show up for you. It's just telling me that this is part of letting go of the past, and it's also part of blurring out, is that what you, I'm not trying to put words in your head, but this is just the message, the way that it's coming across to me. So take it as it resonates and don't take what doesn't. But if what you really want is the 10 of Cups, then what you really want may not necessarily be that person. It may feel like it. It may seem like it. It may, you know, have presented itself in such a way that you can't imagine it any other way. But that's what this blurring out energy is, and letting go of the past is. When you truly release it and you truly open up to all the infinite possibilities that can be the 10 of Cups, then guess what? The 10 of Cups is what you're going to end up with. And right now, maybe you can't picture that as anyone other than your person, and that's okay. That is okay. But when we are, calling things into our life and remaining hopeful and remaining optimistic and buoying ourselves and persevering, it's about love. It's not about a particular person. It is about love, the frequency of love, being that frequency and aligning with that frequency in this timeline, in this body, in this moment, okay? So it's giving me, you have to truly let go of the past, and you have to truly be open to all the possibilities. All right? If it's going to be that person, it's going to be that person. If it's not going to be that person, it's not going to be that person no matter what you do. It really isn't. Because even if you get that person, it won't be the 10 of Cups. Like, that's how Spirit is showing this to me. It's like, from our human perspective, which is very ground level. It's very, we can see what's in front of us, but if there's an obstacle or something obscuring it, or if our lenses that we're looking through are cloudy for whatever reason, then we're gonna see, what we're gonna see is not gonna be totally right. You know what I mean? So a lot of times it is about zooming out and getting that higher level perspective and really diving into shifting our power, shifting our paradigm, and allowing the highest and best version to come to us, whatever that may be. And I mean, for some of you, it is a past person. I can feel it. Anyway, you have proposal on the bottom of the deck. It says a romantic or business opportunity is indicated. So you definitely have something coming in that looks kind of serious, that looks long-term. And it feels like this is all kind of preparation for that. All right, let's see. I read a really good book, you guys, and they're turning it into a movie. It's called Deep Cuts. If you like music, I think you would probably like it. I don't know, I mean, it's a fictional story. They're turning it into a movie, and the guy who's going to play the male lead is Austin Butler, the guy who played Elvis. But it's a very realistic look at something that I think you guys would find pretty relatable as far as relationships go. If you're looking for a fun summer book, it's good, and they're making it into a movie. And I always love to read the book before the movie, which is why I read it. I didn't even know what it was about. I didn't even know Deep Cuts was referring to music. Okay. Here we go, you guys. So you are getting House, Wheel of Fortune, Woman, Snowflake, Butterfly, Bellows, Crow, Firefly, Light Bulb, and the Strength card, which is a card of Leo. It also has specifically listed on it the time frame from July 22nd to August 21st, okay? Which is Leo season. It also has timing within 7 to 11 days. So regardless, whatever this is, it is close at hand. There is a change close at hand. You do have home with the Wheel of Fortune. Some of you are moving. Some of you may be making changes to your home or your foundation. Your foundation is, like, I always consider it Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's like, food, water, shelter, love. There's definitely a change happening because you have this butterfly energy and you have this snowflake energy. And this snowflake energy it's really what it's giving me is that there is divine order in everything, even that seems so chaotic. Like, if you've ever lived through a blizzard or a whiteout or, you know, like strong snowy conditions, it is just haphazard and chaos. It's coming from everywhere. You can't see anything because the snow is just blinding, right? But that snow that just looks like white stuff falling from the sky actually looks like this. When you magnify it, it's actually beautiful. And no two snowflakes are exactly the same. And it's miraculous. You know, when you kind of break it down, you realize the perfection of it. And when you think of all the snow that you're seeing is all these magnificently shaped, beautiful, harmonious, balanced energies, you know, clumping together and then just going onto the earth and covering it in this perfect white clean slate energy, it would take your breath away, you know. But if you had plans to go out, or you don't have groceries, or you don't have enough firewood or whatever, and all that snow starts to fall, it can give you a ton of anxiety, and you can't even see, you can't even allow yourself to sort of zoom out and get to that space where you're like, wow, that's millions of tiny perfect snowflakes. No two are the same. Like, oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of, it's giving me this energy, like of being patient and of zooming out until you're at a space where you're seeing the miracle in it and where you can accept the divine masterpiece that is your life and that is transpiring and taking place. Everything that worked out, everything that didn't work out, everything that came together and everything that didn't come together, you know, it was guiding you. That was your path. That was the bumper rails that the universe was providing to get you to where you are, which is the perfect place. And it's kind of like, to me, with this light bulb and this snowflake, it's that moment where it all makes sense. Where you go, okay, that's why all that stuff had to happen. And you can trust sort of the divine mystery when you remember that there is order underneath it all. There is perfection underneath it all. You don't have to be anxious about it. You don't have to try to control it or cling to it or make it happen, or feel up and then feel down when you feel positive about it or when you feel negative about it. It's about just trusting the universe that it is perfect, and that even though it may look chaotic and it may look like a mess and it may look like something, you know, harmful or something that's anxiety inducing, when you trust it, it gets a whole lot easier. It's a whole lot easier. So there's some kind of aha moment here around trusting the divine perfection of life and that bringing a huge change. This card feels so peaceful to me. It just feels at one. It's like all you have to do is go where you feel called. Go where, you know, follow your passion, follow your desire, follow your heart. And that's all you have to do. And then trust the universe, right? And then you have the bellows. And what do bellows do? Bellows add energy. It adds fuel. It builds to a climax, right? It can take a small, gentle little fire and build it into some huge thing, right? By blowing this oxygen into it, by fanning the flame. And so it feels like the universe is doing that as you use your free will choices to follow your passion, to follow your joy, to follow your heart. The universe is providing more and more of those things in your life. There is something here with the crow and the firefly where you are, I feel like having revelations about your past. You are kind of understanding, it honestly feels like the law of attraction. Hang on one second, you guys. I forgot my tea and I really need a drink. I'll be right back. One sec. I left my tea seeping on the counter, and I usually don't do that. But this is telling me, it's kind of like in retrospect, looking back and sort of seeing the energy you were in, or even your mentality, or kind of where you were at and what you were attracting, and why it does sort of give me this, like, why it didn't work out, or why it may not even just be you, like looking at yourself. It may even be like looking at others. It is also giving me that energy of, looking back and really, really coming to this place of, wow, that wasn't about me. That was about them. What happens in our relationships, it isn't, we take it so personally, and we take it on, and we introspect, and we ask ourselves, and we beat ourselves up a little bit. We're like, was it because I said this? Is it because I didn't do this? I could have done that better. Maybe I was too much. Maybe I was this. Maybe I was that. And a lot of these ideas come from our past, come from what other people have told us, or the inclinations that we've gotten about ourselves, the clues we've taken on from, our other experiences. And they really are not a reflection of us at all. We are all these unique beings that just need to shine. And when we shine in our authenticity, and we shine in our truth, what we attract to us is real. What we attract to us is authentic and is attracted to us for us. We're not going to be too much for the right person. I'm sure you've probably heard that before, and maybe you're even rolling your eyes, but we're not. We're just not going to be too much for the right person. My husband is a pretty conservative guy, and obviously I'm not so much. I guess some people might say that I was a little bit, but not really. I don't think so. I kind of am a hippy-dippy type person. But my husband, he will, especially like when I'm getting really, like, I don't know, in my place, he'll say to me, how high is your freak flag flying? Or, you know what I mean? Your freak flag's at half mast today, babe. I will never be too much for him. It will never be too much for him. And I am just eternally grateful. I want everyone to be loved like that in their life, to have someone who appreciates their too muchness, And I say that with air quotes. All right, here we go, guys. Let's see what these have. I'm kind of scared with this deck. I was scared when I got it, but I thought maybe being scared is a good thing. So let's see what happens with these cards. Ooh. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, guys, there are people out there, right, who is, we may want them to truly see us for who we are, how we are, what we are. We may want them to understand our intentions and that we're really a good person with, good vibes or whatever, but there are just some people that we can explain ourselves to till we're blue in the face, and they're still not going to understand us, and they're still not going to hear us. One of the fundamental problems I feel like with people is that we believe what we want to believe. We all do it. And I have found there is a guy named Thomas Campbell. Wow, he's amazing. He was on, the girl Blossom, that TV show Blossom. Mihail Blynick. I cannot say her name. But anyway, she was Blossom. She has a podcast, not a TV show, but a podcast or a YouTube show. And it's amazing. I love that show. I love her. I think she's amazing. Anyway, she interviewed this guy, Thomas Campbell, not even that long ago, within a month or 2 months. And he was talking about, you know, like how his like main priority is just to not have a set belief system, because that prevents us from growth. It prevents us from opening to all the limitless possibilities that exist. And, you know, through yoga and through my yoga teacher training, one of the big takeaways that I personally took away from it after all this meditation and hundreds of hours of doing yoga in a few months period, but I mean, I've done yoga for years. I came to this space where I was like, I just have to believe that it's possible. Like, that's my goal. I just want to look for the possibility in everything. And if I can see some possibility, then I feel like I'm open. And so I feel like there is some kind of truth around this of just, you know, part of the fundamental makeup of people, of most of people, I think, is that we have our innate kind of tendency is to believe what we want to believe. And so if, you know, if it is convenient for me to hold on to my myth about myself, that I tell myself that you are like that, there's nothing you're ever going to say or do that's going to make me trade the comfortability of my myth about myself that I continue to choose, you know, you over that. There's just no way you're going to convince me of that. And that's really what it is. We take it so personally, and we feel like we need to be heard and that we need to be seen. And the truth is, yeah, it's important to be heard and be seen, but not everyone's going to be able to hear you and see you, you know? So you have this energy of not hearing you, and there's a 9 at the bottom of this card. And so it's kind of giving me, the 9 is the Hermit energy, and so it is giving me this sense of either loneliness, being alone, or even if you have people around you, to at times to feel like people don't actually really understand what it is to be you, and that a lot of times your best company is yourself, or that even possibly sometimes you're the only one that understands you, so you're the only one that can advise you or can kind of figure out where you need to go from here sometimes. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, that 9, here we go again with this low vibes energy and the shift your focus energy. It's kind of like it can sort of also take us to a place, right? The natural place as a human being that we go from there is nobody understands me. You know, maybe something's wrong with me. Maybe I'm just not seeing it right. Maybe if I was like that, it would be easier, it would be better. And that can sort of take us to a depressed state. And here's the thing. I think that's part of your original message with the patience, is that, you know, time is a human construct, but a lot of times we think by this age we should be here, by this age we should be here. And our peers are getting married and having kids or retiring or making money or buying a house or doing stuff that maybe we're not doing, and maybe we're nowhere even near it, and we can't even imagine it. But concentrating on focusing on what other people have and what we don't have, and where we quote unquote should, and should is like one of those words we should just eradicate from language. I say should even in that sentence, because it's just not kind to shit on people. But there's this energy of, you know, it takes away from our ability to be happy where we are now, and it also disempowers us. And the low vibration, I feel, is coming from the disempowering nature of it. And, you know, with that key card, it was sort of about bringing our energy back home to ourselves and being the powerful being in the story, the main character, the writer, the one that gets to choose what is happening here, right? Instead of putting our focus, or, you know, giving our energy away to another person and saying, I'll be happy when they're coming back, or I'll be happy when I get that job, or I'll be happy when I get that car or that house, or, you know, that status symbol that says that I'm on equal footing with that person, or that wins me the automatic respect of people around me, or that justifies me. those things don't justify you, and they're not actually going to win the automatic respect. You're going to get that, and then that person is going to, like, I have a neighbor, my husband and I just painted the deck around our pool, and it looks really nice, and we're very proud of it, and we like did a bunch of work outside. That's why my fingernails looked like crap for a few weeks. Anyway, our neighbor like gets out all his stuff and starts doing it too. And he's got his, he does it in dramatic fashion where he wants everyone in the neighborhood to know he's doing it. My husband and I did it very like subtly. He knows because he is constantly watching us and trying to always one up us. But it was just kind of funny because, he's out there trying to do better than us. And that's how those people are going to react. They're never going to be like happy for you and be like, wow, that's awesome. You guys feel great about your outdoor space and you're outside a whole lot more. And, you've got all your plants out here and it looks really nice and it makes the neighborhood look nice. And, no, they can't be happy for you. They have to one up you. So it's like, there are just people that are never going to hear you, that are never going to be okay with it. And I think, Pisces, you have some people like that. And when we're sensitive and when we're empathetic, we feel the vibe that those people are putting out. And what it really is I'm insecure and I need those things to prop me up. Where Pisces, I think that you are more spiritual with these nines. And that you're more grounded and centered and authentic and real, and you don't need those things to prop you up. The only reason that you would ever look and say, well, maybe I should be somewhere that I'm not, is because you temporarily compare yourself to your neighbor. And it's like, we don't need to do that. Comparison is a thief of joy, and that's not your story. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You are perfectly exactly where you are meant to be right now. I'm getting that so strongly. So anyway, all of this to be said is that, this I feel like is going back to this patience and beware energy where, I feel like it is just, hey, trust that everything is falling into place for you exactly as it's meant to, and that you are exactly where you're meant to be. Because you want a new shot on the Wheel of Fortune. You are here making a different decision, calling in something different, attracting something different in your life. And this is definitely big, especially when it comes to connection, to other people, to a soul tribe, to a particular person, to a soulmate. So it's not about wasting our energy trying to convince someone to see our worth or our value, or, to validate us or whatever. It is about us validating ourselves and us trusting that when it is our time, then it will happen. And that it's about being patient and holding on to our vision for ourselves and staying the course for ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, in a really balanced way. We don't want to repeat the past. We don't want to settle or compromise or continuously choose to give our power away to someone else and say, well, I'll be happy when they call me. I'll be happy when they come back around. No, what you really want is the 10 of Cups. Zoom out, look at it. Is it that you want that person, or do you want to be in a content relationship that's equal, harmonious, and balanced? And within time to forgive, a lot of times, we will, I honestly feel like you have someone coming back here, okay? And I feel like there is some kind of fear that maybe you are repeating the past, or that maybe in the past you may have been tempted to kind of prove your worth to someone, or kind of expected them to see your value and they just didn't. And it didn't matter how much you explained it to them, or how much you showed them, or how much you gave to them. They were not in a space to see it. I feel like that person is coming back. I feel like there is this energy of, you're either going to feel like they're coming back around again, and if you choose them again, you'll be repeating the past because you don't sense any change in them, or you will sense a change in them, and you will say, okay, it's time to forgive this. It's time to put this aside. It's time to choose each other. It's time for this to actually come together and happen. In which case, I feel like there will be a deepening bond. And I feel like with the fire ignited in the soul tribe energy, I feel like this will be a much more authentic connection than it really ever has been in the past. It will be someone that can finally see you for you and can finally, you don't have to explain yourself. They're showing up. They're fully present. They get it. Possibly, I'm just getting here, they know your worth because they had to live without it. It could also be this person that is overcoming their own lower vibrational tendencies. You may be overcoming your own lower vibrational tendencies here as well, Pisces. But this is leading to something serious with the proposal energy up here that has long-term potential. And it could also be that the past will come back and you'll say, oh no, if I give in to this again, I will just be going around on another cycle, and you will completely be able to forgive and let go and come to a place of peace and acceptance, which will allow you to have deeper relationships with other people. All right, let's dive into the tarot, Pisces. First card out is the Devil. What is going on here, Pisces? All right. Pisces. Those are two cards that when you see them together, it is usually a pretty sexually charged energy. I feel like someone is super attracted to you. That's how I'm taking it. For some of you, this can be a reflection. If you are really hung up on a past person, like you can't stop thinking about them, they are all you want is another chance, everything you're doing is geared toward getting another chance with this person, then it can be that energy. But for most of you, and I'm going to kind of go with this, I feel it's an energy of someone who is actually fairly obsessed with you. I feel like they're extremely attracted to you. I feel like they're not attracted to anybody else in the same way they're attracted to you. It's coming across as very sexual, but it's deeper than that, because you do have the 8 of Coins on the bottom of the deck. So this is someone who wants you so bad that they're working hard. They're either working hard to change, to manage themselves. Well, I don't know. Maybe manage is an important word. Maybe you're dealing with a manager or someone that manages people or manages accounts or manages something. But manage, I wouldn't normally use that there. They are trying to master themselves as a way of being able to earn or get or receive what they want with you. You know, and it feels like with the Pentacles here, this is somebody who's doing the hard work, the heavy lifting. You know, they're working to master themselves. Maybe the first time you came around, and this is, I actually have a Pisces friend who this happens to all the time. She's got a set of stalkers like no one you can imagine. And like when I say that, I mean the term sort of loosely. I mean, like, you know, all of her exes like stalk her social media, her LinkedIn, everything. I mean, she's just like, oh my God, like why couldn't they be this attention? But they don't come back around because they haven't done the work. But this is someone that is doing the work, that they want it bad enough. But it's that energy where, like with her, I always feel, and it always comes out in the cards, that, you know, people kind of don't know what they have until it's gone. It's like, because people don't regularly experience authenticity in a person, they don't usually get someone that's super real and that's in it for kind of the right reasons, or that has really good intentions and is really trying to connect on a human level, on a soul level, on an emotional level. They sort of project their past experiences and their own insecurities and their own, you know, kind of way of navigating on her. And then afterward, they when they start reviewing it, when they start missing her, and they start realizing that, like, oh crap, no, this person was actually authentic. Oh, this person actually cared about me. Oh, whoa, this person actually saw something in me that was meaningful and that mattered. And you know what? I liked who I was when I was with that person because I was living up to that. And, you know, and then they don't commit, or they leave her, or, you know, whatever. And, you know, she always has to go through it, but I think it's getting easier for her now. But, you know, but then afterward, immediately, they're all just like, oh, what did I do? And then, I mean, she's got people that, you know, are the first people to watch her stories years later, and still reach out from time to time, you know. But she can always tell, oh, okay, you've made some progress, all right, you know. And, you know, they typically do make progress, but whether it's enough to be brave enough to actually like come forward and actually hold up that end of the bargain or not, you know, that's something different. And with this Eight of Pentacles, though, I can see someone who's sort of holding back and really working on themselves in an attempt to come forward only when they're ready. But let's clarify this Devil. Yeah, somebody's obsessed with you. I mean, hello. You have the World in reverse with the High Priestess. They do not want something to be over with you. Yeah, Ace of Pentacles. They're working on themselves so that they can come forward and offer you something solid and stable. Ace of Wands. Six of Wands. This person wants your attention. They want to be successful and victorious with you. It's interesting because with this energy, you know, you have sparked a flame in them. You have done something to them that they can't really extinguish. And that doesn't go away. And they don't feel like that with anybody else. And that's what makes them want this so bad. There is something extremely harmonious about your energy and exciting about your energy. And, you know, I do feel like you have taken your power back. I feel like you're not really talking to this person. I feel like you're being a bit mysterious. I feel like they don't exactly know where you stand. They don't know, you know, how you're feeling or what you're thinking necessarily, because you're keeping it very close to the vest. But they're finding that even more attractive. That they're finding you so maybe even more attractive now than when they may have been with you in the past. And they just don't want it to end because it's like you're mysterious. It's like you're not giving into a toxic tendency. You're not codependent. You're not manipulative. You're not any of these things. You're like, okay, you don't see my worth or value. You're not hearing me. All right, I'll go on my solo journey. I'll love myself. I'm going to sit in my highest and best energy, and I'm going to let you figure it out. I'm going to let you go through whatever you need to go through to arrive at your answer. But I'm sitting here kind of unfuckwithable in my energy. This person is over here making this decision. I do feel like they're a little bit like, you know, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to choose. And I think they do go back and forth right now, but they're working on it. They're working on becoming super stable and balancing that out and being the person that you see in them, that you know exists in them, which is actually, I feel like, their authentic truth as well. This person really didn't realize how deep their feelings were for you. I think that they were more focused on the attraction, the flirty nature. I think that they felt really good about spending time with you, being close to you, being in proximity to you. And I think that they kind of underestimated you, and I think they underestimated what you were actually offering and who you actually were and what you were actually capable of. I think that you have definitely reminded them, or that they are definitely now seeing it very clearly, because we have the Empress on the bottom of the deck. So they're definitely aware that you are, like, if they let you get away, you will be the one that got away with the Empress on the bottom of the deck. You have the Temperance energy here, though. And you have this energy of the King of Coins. So I do think that this King of Coins is giving me, I'm not even going to lie, a little bit of like, you know, cocky, arrogant. You come to me. You know, you give me what I want. You know, you do what you like. I'm in the catbird seat. Like, that's how they may have felt in the connection. And I think you walked away and you were like, yeah, I was being humble. I wasn't being braggadocious. I wasn't being ostentatious. I wasn't showing you everything. I wasn't like, oh, look at me. Look at what a good person I am. Oh, you know, look how I do this good act of service and that and blah, blah, blah. I was just sitting in my power. And I was expecting you to see this peacock up here on the Nine of Pentacles. I was expecting you to see my worth and my value, because it's, you know, it's obvious, you know. But it's like this person was so lost in their own worth and their own value, or it was perceived or projected, or it was buoyed by what they thought. And also, I think their priorities were different. I think their priorities have actually shifted, because I think that their priorities may have been on, you know, a really tangible material world kind of stuff, like you know, their job, their money, their looks, their this, their that. And so when they're looking at you, they're like, I have more, I have more, I have more, without realizing that like you had just about what they had, maybe for some of you more, and that you also had this magnetic quality of attraction where things were actually coming to you. But beyond that, you're so much more than that. And what you were offering was so much more than that. And I think you weren't like, oh, look at me, look at what I'm offering you, like this person was, or like what they may be used to. You were just subtly a presence. And you allowed them to formulate whatever they wanted to, thoughts or feelings they wanted to formulate about you. You weren't trying to convince them of anything. That's how I feel. With the Alchemist, it's like this person needed to really kind of rebalance, recenter, reacclimate. It's like they had gotten so sort of cocky and so self-satisfied with themselves, with one view of themselves as a like one-dimensional type person, and it was enough for them. And so they had sort of stopped developing the other things, or had even stopped, you know, seeing the value or importance of other things. And I think you offered it to them, which may have woken something up in them, which they may have really liked. I mean, they definitely really liked the time that they spent with you. But I feel like Pisces, there's this energy. I feel like she's turning her back, kind of collecting her things and moving on. Where I feel like you were like, yeah, okay, that's all you see me as. And and I know that because that's how you're treating me, or that's how you're looking at me, or you're not willing to commit, or you're not giving me everything that you have. You still think that there's some kind of imbalance here. Or you think that your value is somehow higher than mine, or something like that. I don't know. Or they may have just really prioritized, like, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I'm capable of, this is what I'm not capable of. And they may not have considered that what you were asking for, I'm just going to say it's commitment, because with the King of Pentacles, he is a committer. And it's like you can see that they basically were committed, it feels like, but they never really showed up that way. They never really offered that formally or something to you. And it's kind of like, I know what I'm worth. I know what I deserve. Get your shit together and we'll talk. But and it's kind of like, take all the time that you need, because if you don't show up, there will be someone else. But it's like when you walked away, that's when the person realized, oh shit, that was the Empress. She just wasn't rubbing it in my face all the time. She's a divine feminine. I'm not a divine masculine. I still have work to do. And then they set to doing the work. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I think you walked away. I think you stopped allowing, this person got stagnant. There stopped being room to grow. And I think Pisces with the Four of Swords and Temperance in reverse, it's like, you were like, okay, well, I can't continue to put my energy towards this, towards building this or coming together with you or coming together like this when you're stuck and stagnant. It's like we have made all the progress we can make. We can't go beyond that until you release this stagnancy. And it's like you almost maybe even could, yeah, it's like intuitively you knew. Yeah, you could stay there and you could pass time with this person and you could enjoy their company or whatever. But I feel like you were getting emotionally involved. I feel like too many parts of you were getting involved in this, or it was draining you. It was taking too many things from you. And I think you chose your own personal emotional contentment over coming together in this situation. It's like, I'm not going to do more or give more or be more in this situation than this without getting what I know I deserve. Oh yeah, this person's sorry, all right. They want this, you know. You got the Page of Wands here. I mean, the Page of Cups with the Ace of Wands here. This person's coming in to say they're sorry, that it's like, look at this guy and he's reaching for this balloon. I don't know if this is a fish. Let me put my glasses on for a sec here. Yeah, oh my God, there's a fish in this balloon. And it's like they only saw the balloon. They didn't see the fish in the balloon. They didn't see what you were really offering them. They didn't see the depth and the more and how valuable the more was. They were just like, yeah, I got a balloon. So you're not giving me anything I don't already have. You know what I mean? There's an arrogance here. There's something here that's kind of like, they really misjudged the situation. And now they really want this. And so they're going to have to apologize. They're going to have to communicate this, that they misjudged the situation or that they were not in an energy to be able to appreciate it at the time. Wow. Yeah, some time has passed. You know, you got the Seven of Coins here. You've got the Sun card and you have the Two of Cups. This is definitely a deep soul connection. I mean, you're definitely in each other's lives for a deep, deep reason here. And I do think that, you know, for me with this Seven of Coins, it's really giving me the energy that this has continued to grow. This person has maintained a focus on this connection and maybe even hoping that it would come back around, just with the shape of this plant here. And also this symbol of, you know, the going in is the symbol of going inward to find your answers. So this person, I think maybe they have done a bit of soul searching in this time away from you. I do feel like they have really kind of identified some areas where they could work on themselves, because we had seen that Eight of Coins. They arrived here they arrived in the place where they realized and started and began working on themselves by, you know, having this time, having this distance, looking at themselves, looking at what they want to invest in their life, and sort of realizing like, oh my God, Pisces is a person you invest in. It only gets better with a person like Pisces. It doesn't fall apart and come to an end, because Pisces is being authentic and Pisces is really offering everything, you know, and they're capable of limitless growth. So like if I were to choose Pisces, it would never come to an end of the road, because we would always be able to find some next level that we could go to. With the Sun card, this person's really having an aha moment. They're really seeing something very clearly. I think that their happiness is really tied to you, and that it is going to take them apologizing and being very vulnerable and coming forward and really offering some kind of truth that I feel like this person typically would not be comfortable with. They're very covered up in this card. They even have a hat on. So it's kind of like they're definitely more comfortable sort of hiding in the shadows, watching, waiting, you know, not being vulnerable, not taking a risk. But I feel like they're seeing that, like, if they want this with you, they're going to have to come forward and sort of bear all in order to you know, make the progress, in order to be someone that you're going to listen to. Wow. And they're kind of on the karmic wheel, it feels like. And they are deciding, you know, do I come clean and bring clarity to this situation and have this deep conversation with Pisces that I could see myself being committed to Pisces, or that I even want a commitment with Pisces? I think that their choice has changed now. I think that they do want a commitment with you. I think that they are afraid that you may even be getting away with this Hierophant energy. You may be doing something, Pisces, like investing in an education or investing in yourself in some kind of way that it feels like you are getting a little bit out of this person's league even. It's funny, this person who started off so confident and so arrogant and so sure of themselves and so sure that they were the catch in the connection is now kind of questioning themselves because you've continued to elevate in this time apart. It's like, you know, they stayed there all fully clothed, kind of going inward, but also really watching you. And they may have watched you have some kind of glow up, or, you know, get a degree, or change your career, or get recognition in your community, you know, anything. Get wiser, smarter, something, somehow. Maybe you even got a haircut. I don't know. I just got that. Maybe you got bangs or a fringe cut, you know. Anyway, the thing is like, this person, we all always have a choice, right? And a choice always boils down to the choice between love and fear. And if you break it down all the way, every choice comes down to love or fear. And, you know, people often, when they're trying to, you know, kind of make us make a choice, like marketing tactics and stuff, they play to our fear. Well, if you don't buy this now, you're not going to ever get this kind of deal again. You know, you know, they even when you're buying something that you think you're going to love, when you do it from a place of fear, like you're choosing something based on, well, if I don't do this, then I'm going to miss out on this opportunity, which is a very strong motivator. Like, a lot of people make that decision out of fear. You know, a lot of people are like, okay, well, I'm going to just do it because if I don't, you know, I mean, even when we see people like mass buying toilet paper in a pandemic and stuff like that, that's all fear buying. But what we have here with the Seven of Swords and the Sun and the Two of Wands on the bottom of the deck and the Two of Cups, we have 2 twos here. And so this is like kind of a major decision. Any way this person slices it, they're making a choice. And they really are choosing love or fear. And if they choose fear, then they are choosing misalignment with themselves. They're kind of choosing to let what could be always exist in a space of what could have been or what could be, instead of bringing it to life and accepting it and opening up to it and being brave and, you know, fully embracing it and allowing it to shine and allowing it to thrive and allowing themselves to shine and allowing themselves to thrive. And this is the fundamental choice that they have. I think that over time, this person has kind of come to a good spot on commitment. I think that they are sort of seeing the value in commitment. But I think the fear comes in more around admitting their mistake, you know, acknowledging all of the things that they have gotten clarity on in your absence, the mistakes that they made, their own arrogance, their own pride, their own thinking that you wouldn't walk away or that they wouldn't lose you ever. Now they're realizing that you're a soulmate and that you were offering them love, you were offering them something that no one else has ever really offered them, and that the choice was really a no-brainer, but they weren't ready to see it. They weren't in a space in their life and in a level of maturity where they were recognizing that or even looking for that in another person, because they weren't there themselves, it feels like. Ooh, that reminds me, I saw an Instagram. Let me tell you what it said. You guys, this got me so hardcore. I'm so happy that this came up in your reading so that I'm remembering to share this with you. Someone who has never faced and sat with their own darkness will not have the capacity and maturity to hold your hand in your darkness. This is a quote by Navucco, Navucko. They have an Instagram page. I'm going to read it one more time. Someone who has never faced and sat with their own darkness will not have the capacity and maturity to hold your hand in your darkness. So many times we go into love, we go into situations, and we see someone's fragility, we see their vulnerability, we see their humanness. We see the lessons that we have learned and integrated in our lives that they have not learned or integrated. And we think, oh, I can help guide them through that. I've survived that. I've been through that. I see that. I recognize that. That will not hurt me. No, that's not the part that will hurt you. The part that will hurt you is that that person has not done what you did. They were not brave. They did not sit and face their shadow and look at that and say, you know, why am I doing this? Let me improve. Let me fix this. Let me grow from this. Let me make a different choice when it comes to this matter. And oftentimes, you know, then they become our pain, our teacher, because they haven't sat with themselves. And if they haven't sat with themselves, then when we need them and we need them to show up and we need them to put it into a different gear, or we need them to connect with us more deeply, it doesn't exist. It's not there. They can't choose it. We reach a place of stagnancy. And that's what hurts. And then we take it personally and we introspect and we go, was I too much? Was I this? Was I that? Was it this that I said? Was it that I said? And for months and months, we drain ourselves thinking about these things when really it was always obvious from the very moment we met them that they had not sat with themselves. And that because they hadn't sat with themselves, they'd never be able to sit with us. All right. Let's get some messages for Pisces. For my Pisces. Something big is happening here, Pisces. It's on your horizon. It's either new love or a past person coming back, but either way, you have something good coming in. If you're dealing with a water sign, annoyed, I am trying to figure things out, repressing. I've been having weird dreams about us, and you changed my whole direction. If you are dealing with a fire sign, you're getting anxious, resentment. I had no idea you would end up meaning so much to me. Blocking, twin flames. If you are dealing with an earth sign, I am choosing you. I just want to go back in time. Hopeful. You give me so much to look forward to. Daydreaming. The changes are real. And I am making plans. if you are dealing with an air sign. Wishy-washy. You will always be my secret love. I just need more time. Triggered. And I can't stop thinking of you. All right, Pisces, this is what I have for you. I hope it helps. I hope it brings you some peace and clarity. If it does, let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Love you guys so much. Until next time, I send you off with all my very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.